Today we're gonna go over the darce from side control. So.
He's got it. Yep, it's sunk up. That's tight. It's over. That's it. There's the tap.
Right, and he starts getting on this side of his body, and he starts like digging this underhook here. Right, this is a perfect time to do the darce because I want to shove my hand through here in his armpit, down underneath his head right here. Okay, this is a perfect time to get the darce. So I'll come back. So we're here. He's got good frames. He's bridging. I'm actually going to give him a little bit of space and let him come up onto his side like this. Then I'm going to shove my hand like a knife right through his armpit, tight to his chest, come all the way out here. Now, a lot of people make a mistake here. They leave their shoulder here and then their hand gets like really shallow and they can't quite get their hand all the way through. You need to dip your shoulder down into here. And to help you do that, if you put your ear on their lat, it's going to help you drop that arm a little bit deeper. All right. When I do this, though, I don't want to bring my hand this way because now my forearm is not going to be on his neck anymore. It's going to be on like his jaw and the side of his head, and I'm just going to end up cranking his neck here. So I want to keep my arm super tight to his shoulder girdle like this. So I'm going to shove my hand down, drop my shoulder in, and then bring my arm back towards his shoulder girdle here. Now from here, I'm just going to quickly connect my hands and pin his head down with my elbow. All right. Then I'm going to drop my elbow to the floor like this, and I'm going to bring this hand as far deep underneath my chin as I can. If I can't get under my chin, that's fine. Just the act of trying is going to tighten this thing up. Now, the main driver of this choke is my bottom arm pulling like up and back, like I'm Tiger Woods going like, yeah. I bet he wasn't doing that when he got his DUI, though. All right, so we're here. We bring this under the chin. We make sure it's tight to the shoulder girdle. We're going to pull our bottom elbow up and back, and we're going to drive our chest down. A big mistake a lot of people make is when they pull their elbows back, they pull their chest up with them, right? Whenever we think of a choke, we need to think of like a hangman's noose, right? Like if my arms were a hangman's noose and they were made of muscles, right? And I squeezed my muscles, did the noose get smaller? No, right? So we want to mechanically make that noose smaller. So we slide our hands into a figure four and look, that hole's smaller. Then we pinch our elbows up and back. Look, that hole smaller. We drive our chest forward, that hole smaller. If we pull our chest back, that hole gets bigger. So we want to crush everything into a singular point, like a black hole, and then squeeze if we have to. Okay, we only squeeze when it's necessary. We don't want to burn our arms out. We want to mechanically have strength, not muscularly have strength. Okay, so from the beginning, he bridges up into me. I kind of like let him. I shove my hand down here. I drop my elbow on my ear. I keep this tight to his shoulder girdle. Connect my hands, slide down to my bicep, bring this hand underneath, puff my chest out and pull. Now, I like to also circle to knee on belly if I can because that pulls his head in nice and tight. Then I puff down and get my tap. Okay? Any questions on that? Boy, right? Or you're a thick boy, or both of you are thick boys, and you can't quite get to your bicep, right? It's just not working. Or they're keeping this arm like on the side of your body, lifting it up, or doing like grabbing their own leg or something like that, right? Which is preventing you from sinking this arm as deep as you want to. So you're going to do a short arm darce. It's where you grab your forearm instead of your bicep here. All right. It requires a little more torque on your arms, right? So your arms are going to get a little more tired. Your grip's going to be a little more shot, but you can still get the finish. Islam does this all the time. He does it a lot of the time too because it's harder to get all the way to the bicep with the MMA glove sometimes. Okay, so you shoot the darce the same way. Your hand's only coming through here. So you're going to drop your hand down. You're going to get here. Then I'm going to put my hand like down the center of his back, and I'm going to use my bottom arm to pull this elbow in as I also curl this elbow in so that I tuck his head in like this. Okay, so I get here, I grab, I start pulling his head in, and now I'm going to sit towards his legs like this, and to finish him, I'm just gonna like arm wrestle myself. So the hand that's grabbing my forearm is gonna come up and over the top. This elbow is gonna keep curling in like this. So I get here, I shoot the darce, I can't quite get my hand all the way through, so I grab my own forearm, I palm down the center of his back, I pinch the elbow in, I sit towards his legs, I capture his legs, and then I'm gonna arm wrestle myself over the top here and get my tap. This one's much meaner, so go a little slower with this one, okay? But the finish is like this. I'm here, and I'm just levering my arm over the top. My hand becomes a fulcrum, and I lever over the top. So one more time. Sorry. I shoot the darce. I can't quite get my hand through, so I drop my elbow. I get my own forearm. I cover his back right here. I pinch his head in. I sit through, cover his legs, and then I lever my elbow up towards his armpit like this. Okay?